Okay guys, this is going to be a very quick video. I apologize if this sounds rushed, but I have an appointment. We got two new cats, one of them sick, and I got to take it to the vet, so I've got to go through this pretty quick. I'm going to give you key levels to pay attention to, what levels I'm bullish above and what levels I'm bearish below. So we had a pretty substantial drop from our resistance at 112,000. I put two videos up. Sorry, it's been a while since I put a video up. 12 days ago, I said it's time to start. It's time to sell Bitcoin and start looking for some short entries. Bitcoin drop, if not already topped out. That did play out. We dropped 12,000 from our resistance and about 11. No, we dropped 13,000 from our resistance and about 12,000 for I called a short. And I did put up another video 10 days ago. Talking about, I'm expecting a blow off top. This means, Bitcoin could have possibly bottomed and we're going to push higher, or we might have a little bit more downside and then we'll push back up. But I did say in that last video that I expect Bitcoin to drop before we could get another pump. And so far that's played out. Now, have we stopped? Are we going to drop more? Well, I'm just going to give you levels and you can pay attention to that, but I will do a follow-up video tomorrow or the next day about this Bitcoin bear market when I'm expecting it to happen, and I'll cover some more details in that video. But the very last video, this one here, says time to sell if not already topped out. I did show you the pattern that I thought we were in. This was your resistance and this was your support. This is just a parallel channel. This is about 7 minutes 47 seconds in. I'll put a link up to the video now if you want to check it out. I also made a post in Discord about this. I said if we were still in that descending channel pattern, your support is around 100,200. We could get a wick down to 99,300. Now we did go below that point, and that's why I was showing, this basically was a point to pay attention to, but we could drop down past that point. We did get a little bit of a drop past that point. We did have some other charts for confluence, but as you can see, we did hold above. Let me make these bigger so you can see them. We did hold above. This was a support level I was giving, was around 100,000 down to 99,379 because of this fib line, and we were also, notice the daily open is above this trend line, so that is your current support. So yes, be long above that point, but I want to give you resistance levels and your most key resistance level. If we get above that, then expect us to at least come back up and test the top of this wedge. I'm sorry, the top of this descending channel. And if we get above that, then yes, we could come up and retest or create a new all-time high. So I'm going to cover all these levels. I only have a few charts to go through. Again, I'm sorry I'm rushing this video. Tomorrow, I'll take my time and cover some stuff in more detail. Guys, if you can get leverage trading, CoinCatch is a great option. It's no KYC, no VPN. This is the events page. I'll put a link up to it now. So they have it already started over. If you deposit $1,000, you can get $5,000 bonus. So that means you'll have $6,000 margin to trade with. It's 30 slots every 7 days. That just started over. If you deposit $500, you can get $1,250 back. That's $1,700 margin you can trade with. That's 300 slots every 7 days. Again, they're just giving away money for you guys to trade to join their platform, so take advantage of it. If you do use the $500 or $1,000 deposit tier and you get and use your bonus, you can get free access to my charts in Discord. Just contact me through my website. And my referral link is right here. I'll put a link up to it now. Guys, you can learn how to trade on CoinCatch. Video I put up teaching you all the tools I use, how I use them, how to protect yourself, as well as creating your account, how to transfer funds to your futures account, all of that. So if you learn how to trade on CoinCatch, I'll put this video now if you want to check it out. And of course, guys, if you do want to sign up, get access to my charts, the $49 option gives you access to Bitcoin charts, altcoin charts, precious metals, and Discord. Make sure if you do sign up, though, you email me through the contact page so I can verify you have an account. Then I'll send you a Discord invite link. I'll put a link up to the website now if you want to check it out. Okay, so let's just cover a few things, guys. So we do know that we got rejected. In the last, it was 2 videos back, I was talking about this level here. So this is a very critical level around 108,549. This is a fib line. This is why I said in that previous video you might be looking for a point to short because you already got rejected from that curve. And I did go into detail about that curve in previous videos. Just go back and watch them. This is on the weekly. So the center Bollinger Band on the weekly is sitting around 94,774. But when you talk about this yellow line, because this yellow line is going to be a lot of resistance. If you notice, this is the weekly. You can see the MACD looks like it's about to curl over. Sometimes they do fake outs. When you get across, that's when you need to pay attention. So that we could have more downside, but I'm trying to give you levels to know if we're going to go higher or lower. Notice that the RSI, it is angling down. We already got across a while ago. So again, don't always just use the MACD and the RSI. You need to use the levels in addition. But again, I just want you to pay attention. It looks like we could get across on the moving average for the MACD soon. But just going by this chart, all right, 94,744 is the central Bollinger Band. And remember, this is the next major, this yellow trend line goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin. This orange trend line goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin. Now, this gets higher with time, so I'm just saying that is a target to watch. That would take out, if we did drop to 90,500, that would take out that gap below. We're going to cover that in just a minute. Let's go through these really quick, guys. So as you can see, we are pushing up. Again, I play the fib lines, but you can see we're in this channel. So your point too long was around roughly 99,379. We made contact. I just made another line and brought it down. See, we found support around 98,540. But your most critical support level will be this channel and this fib line. Right now it's around 99,505. We are just now pushing above our next resistance, which is 102,357 on this chart. This chart, if you have access to my charts, guys, I think it's macro top and bottom. So these are just this fib channel line, just pay attention to. So 102,400. Your next resistance above that is around 105,335. And obviously the top of this channel we are in right now is going to be around, depending when you make contact, 108,774. Keep in mind that target I just gave you is in confluence with this line right here. All right, so pay attention. That is a very key level, 108,600, and you can see we have that possibly. Remember, this is on the daily, so that could be the point where you get rejected, 108,640. Obviously, if this descending channel goes on for a while, we either break to the downside or the upside. And remember, I'm saying if we push up, the point you want to short is going to be around 100. Well, the further out this goes, the higher it gets. And that's why I said, look, even if we have a major drop, we can still push up, test this line, and still be underneath our macro resistance going back since the beginning of Bitcoin on linear scale. If you want more information on that, please watch previous videos because I went into detail about that. So if we get above 108,649, again, then we're breaking up from a possible descending channel, and that would push us possibly up to test or our new all-time high, which I will be shorting because if we get above 115,443, depending when we make contact, that holds a support. Well, we're going much higher. I'm not so sold that we're going to push higher or get above this point. I just want you to have the key levels. This is a weekly. Let's see. This is the this is the daily. Now the RSI on the daily, guys, I have to say it's looking bullish. We are way oversold. If you can see down there, I think you can. We are way oversold on the RSI, and you can see the same thing with the MACD. It looks like we could actually have some upside. So again, I would be somewhat bullish, but again, play the levels. We know our first level to pay attention to is 1 or 2,400. But most importantly is right here. This is what I want you to pay attention to. Now I covered all these charts in the previous video. If you want to go back and compare the targets I gave you, let me give you a price label here. Let's see. So you can see we did drop below this point. This is where I would long, and obviously, guys, it depends how you play, your risk tolerance. You can stay in and you can add to your long, or you can get stopped out, wait till we push back up and long. There's different ways to play it, but this was the key fib line, and you can see we had a lot of support. We had this support level here. Notice this is resistance. We got a touch as support on that wick. So that was the line to pay attention to, plus this red line was resistance, and then once we broke above it, we shot up. So that said, that showed me that around 97,500 was going to be very strong support, but your key fib line was right around 99,164. So as long as we're above 99,500, take note, right here is the bottom Bollinger Band on the daily, right here. So you get an arrow so you can see that. And that's sitting right at 100,273. So again, as long as we're above 99,500, stay bullish. But your most critical resistance, now this is the point where I decide, okay, if we get above this level, then I say, you know what, we're going higher. Take note, the central Bollinger Band on the daily is sitting right at, let me make this bigger so you can see it, it's sitting right at 105,150. But this is your most critical resistance. Today, that is 103,500. Tomorrow, that is going to be around 103,744. I'm sorry, 103,774. We can pull this down, and you can see that resistance is pretty much on par. Plus, we have the central Bollinger Band coming down. So if this takes days to happen, that's a lot of resistance around 103,000. Let's say 103,700, possibly 104,000. If we get above that and hold a support, then guys, I get bullish to possibly at least come up and test the top of this descending channel, which is around 108,649. And then we could possibly come back down, hold support at 103,000. And then, guys, we're bullish up to our next major resistance level. And on this chart, that's up around 110,000, somewhere around there. Those are your most key levels on the daily. Now, let's say if we break 99,500, your next key support, well, will be this support or resistance flipped as support. Plus, you have this line here, and you have this fib channel line down here. So your next major support level will be 96,384. Your previous this line down here is a previous high. If you go back 95,000. Now, I'm saying if we continue down, I think 95,000 would be an ideal point to long. There's many reasons for that. However, we do have a gap below. But again, if we continue dropping, 95,000 looks like a great entry. I'll show you that on another chart. But again, on daily, these are your key levels to pay attention to. I am bullish above 103,700, 104,000. If you hold above that as support, then yes, I'm bullish to pushing up to some higher levels. This is the H1 chart. You can see how accurate this has been. This is the hourly. I'm gonna give you price tables if you just want to play, if you want to scout. Take note that we did almost find support right here. Again, that's why I have multiple charts we use in Confluence. We found support pretty close to that. So this would have been, if you use this in combination with the other chart, you would have known got a closer entry point, around 98,000. Your current support on the hourly is right around 100,975. Notice we came down and found a perfect support right on that point. Your resistance above is 103,885. Take note, that resistance level matches, all right? This is a very key level. That's why it's marked in white. So like I said, 103,800, you can see the confluence here. 103,600, 103,900, that is a very key level. You get above that, I would get bullish. So again, watch to see if we get above and hold on the hourly, but most importantly, on the daily. That's what I like to pay attention to. You get above 103,885, well, your next resistance level on the daily, on the hourly is 107,823 up to 109,764. Again, guys, I'm having to rush this video. I do apologize. Next hourly support is around 94,313. So you have those levels on the hourly. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is that yellow line. So as I said, just like on this chart back here, very first, let's see this chart here. See that yellow line right here? That is that line. So we need to pay attention and see if we get back above that point. And again, that's around 103,700. So if we hit that point and get rejected, all right, then we're probably coming down to test some lower targets. If we push above it and hold a support, well, I just gave you levels to pay attention to if we continue up above 103,700. But the takeaway from this, that is your most key level to pay attention to. If we get rejected, I said that green line I was talking about before. Actually, let me show you that green line. If I zoom out, you can see why that green line is so important and why that would potentially be a support. That was our previous, this was our previous high back on 13th of April 2021. Previous high back here November 2021. It also became support, right? It also became support all through here, right? Then it became resistance, and then it flipped as support. So if we did drop, let's say we pushed up, got rejected at 103,700, which is very possible. And again, the next video, I'm going to cover some more macro stuff, including what happened with Iran and oil and a lot of other stuff that I didn't include in that last video. But again, that's why I say 95,000 would be your next macro point too long. If that broke, well then, like I said, that orange trend line, that macro trend line goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin. Directly below us is 87,300. Further out, that's 89,119. Now again, I'm bullish above 103,700. But however, if we get rejected there, that might be a point to open a scalp short, or at least open a short, see if it holds. If we push above, well, you close it. If you hold above 103,700, then go long. But these are your most macro support levels. We have more below. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So just want to make sure you have those levels. And now this is the last thing that I want to share with you guys, and this is the CME gap. Now, we did have a gap because markets dropped over the weekend, and you can see markets are now pushing, or at least Bitcoin is pushed up. So to fill that gap, usually we come up above the wick. You notice right here, let me use this arrow. Notice the wick comes down to what, 102,455. Typically we'll push up and come up past the wick. This makes sure it fills the gaps on smaller time frames, but that's around 103,400. So guys, I'm just telling you, that is a very key level. So pay attention to see if we hold above, all right? If we hold above or get rejected around 103,500 to 104,000. If we do and start coming back down, well, we do know, and again, like I said, I'm not saying we have to fill this anytime soon. We could come up and do a new all-time high and then come back down and then fill this gap. But we still have a gap. You can see it right here. This gap is still, it goes from 91,715 up to, well, if we go, the wicks, it's 92,600. The meat of the candle is up around 92,840. So that's a pretty big gap. I'm not saying it has to get filled, but if we do come down and test 95K, it would make sense we would get a wick down to at least fill that gap before pushing back up. So I want to make sure you have those levels, but it looks like we have so much confluence around this area. The takeaway is do pay attention to 103,400 to 104,000. Above that, I am bullish. Otherwise, we get a rejection and come back down. But keep in mind, a gap around 91,740. And if we do drop, I do think it's more than likely we're headed to 95K. And if we're headed to 95K, I don't see why they wouldn't just send a wick down to fill that gap. But you have your key level I'm watching. Again, as long as they're below 103,700, I am bearish. I would short that point. I would be long for now. If we hold above 103,700, guys, stay bullish, expect some more upside. I think that pretty much covers your levels. Again, just go back and watch this video again if you want to get more, if you want to get these levels again. But I will make an update tomorrow or the next day covering this video. This one here, my time frame, I'm going to expect global markets to crash. I'm going to give you some more detail analysis and some other stuff that I didn't really cover in that video that I like to cover. And a lot of people were saying stuff, well, if they do QE, the markets are going to push up. Well, yeah, that's why I said that Bitcoin would need to drop a certain amount so Bitcoin could push up with the markets and then top out before we have that major drop. So I'm going to cover a few other things like the yield curve, uninverting, you got unemployment. You got possibly now because of this war with, well, not yet, but Iran did say that they're going to close the Strait of Hormuz or something like that to possibly attack oil tankers. So the price of oil could go up. There's a lot of factors at play that hint to a possible recession. And when it starts, well, this video, this chart here kind of tells me when that could happen. So I will make an update with that video, about that video tomorrow or the next day. But I wanted to get this video up really quick just so you have your key levels to pay attention to. Again, guys, if you don't get a leverage trading coin catch, it's great options, no KYC, no VPN. If you do want to sign up, again, all these links are pinned in the first comment description. If you have any questions about these bonuses for coin catch, just shoot me an email. And again, all of these links for even the tutorial, and if you want to access my website, all that will be pinned in the first comment description. Guys, expect a video tomorrow or the next day, but these are your key levels. But the main takeaway, again, just so you are very aware, this is the level I am watching, all right? 103,500, 104,000. We could get a rejection from there and come all the way back down to 95K. If we hold above 103,000, 103,500 to 104,000, then we're probably coming up to test the top of this. And if we break above 108,000, well, we know we're probably going to push up and test or put in a new all-time high and then get a rejection just like every other time. And again, the last two videos I did zoom out so you could see the macro for these charts. But guys, that's it till the next video. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.